this is Christina Etchberger from It's Military Life. I'm here with Jen Amos, award-winning podcaster from Holding Down the Fort. How are you doing, Jen?
Hey, Christina. It's so great to be here today. Thank you so much for having me. In this right now, I'm in Eastern time, and it's already like 8 o'clock. But like you were saying offline, I didn't have any better plans anyway. So I'm happy to be here with you and do something productive, hopefully that will benefit people watching tonight or later.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Yeah. I'm like, okay, getting my hair ready and maybe a little bit of makeup is my Friday plans.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So
I'm
I'm
gonna
so
like
excited to
share
talk with
this
you.
as we talk. I don't mean to like interrupt you. I was like, oh,
Oh
Christina.
no, that's
Okay,
so
go.
awesome. No, this is so great because I know we got to talk the other day for your podcast, and we just had so much fun. We had a lot in common, and especially now with your co-host too, with her education background, because me being a former educator, now homeschooling teacher, and just looking at all that you do with Holding Down the Fort, so many similarities between It's Military Life and Holding Down the Fort. You want to tell us
Yeah.
a little bit about your podcast?
Yeah, absolutely. I would be happy to. So, Holding Down the Fort, I didn't come up with the name. Honestly, it was a colleague of ours last year. Shout out to Ethan for that. Our show really started because at our company, we primarily focus on veterans because most of the people I work with are veterans. So I think naturally it was like an easy way for them to do that. However, we know that at the end of the day, when it comes to making family decisions, the military spouse has to be involved, rightfully
Yes.
so. And so, what we had found when we would talk to our veterans or service members is that, oh, let me run it by my spouse first. Like let me make sure that they're okay with this. And so we realized that. The good work that we're doing, we needed to also speak to military spouses and families as well and make them feel seen, heard, and validated, which is extremely important to me, given my background. As a Gold Star daughter, my dad had served in the 80s and 90s, and unfortunately, I had lost him in 1998 while he was on active duty. And when you lose someone like that at 10 years old, you definitely feel in time you start to realize that you feel like unseen, unheard, and not really validated. And so fast forward to life today, part of my mission in honoring my dad is making people feel the same way. And I think that our military families are unsung heroes. I think that they they do a lot of things that don't get acknowledged very often, and yet they are the reason that our service members have a place to come back home to, a reason to fight, a reason to serve and sacrifice for our country. And so the show, what I had found too is that a lot of our military families, whenever they PCS, they have to kind of do like a scavenger hunt to find resources and connections locally. And so they have to do that to establish a new normal every single time. And a lot of times, even if they get stuff from the government, it's usually secondhand information. It's usually through the service member, which, obviously if you are employed by someone, you're going to be the first to know about the benefits, but it doesn't necessarily always get handed down to the spouse. So the spouse a lot of times has to make a lot of almost uninformed decisions in making the most important, decisions for your family. So Holding Down the Fort really came out of that desire to put our military families front and center, and also give them the most relevant resources, education, and stories from people in our community and for our community. Essentially, the movers and shakers of today that say, like, I see you, I hear you, I love you, I want to serve you, and this is what I have to do that for today. So that's really what the show is about. Is I have incredible people such as yourself, Christina, who I consider is a mover and shaker in our community, and is doing what you can on your part to just continue to add value to our community and remind us that despite all the PCSs, despite feeling isolated at many times, the work that we do is just a reminder that you're not alone and you can ask for help. And we're here for it. There's so many people that are more than happy to give you that help and make you feel like you have a sense of community no matter where you go.
That's so wonderful. And I know I've listened to your podcast when I've been driving around. Like Saturdays, I do my morning coffee and I'll just turn it on. And it is wonderful. It's a wonderful place to go in a way, a place to listen in on all your stories, all the resources that you're sharing. And yes, and feel like I'm in the know.
Yeah.
And I've been in the military with my husband and now with my 2 kids. It's going to be 5 years in May. And I would say within the last maybe 2 years, that's when I started understanding that there were resources out there. My husband's been always, keeping me informed, but to the best of his ability as the soldier.
Mm-hmm.
And I think with his perspective, he might not understand, oh, wait, she wants to know every detail so she can plan, understand. And it's been helpful now that, okay, I am someone that has a little bit of leverage here because I have some more resources, whether it be through me or through listening on your podcast. I feel a little bit more secure as a military spouse and now a mother that, okay, if I'm going to be PCSing, I'm going to check out this resource. If we're going to be deploying, okay, like for example, we had that pillar retreat just recently for military spouses and anyone experiencing deployment. And I felt like I wasn't alone. So I totally am all for holding down the fort. And just even the title, like you said, I loved it when I was talking to my family about it. That's really what got me to listen in. I'm like, oh, holding down the fort. Yes, I do.
Yes, you do. You absolutely do. Yeah, I have to give that to, Ethan, one of our colleagues, because, we had this whole brainstorming session. We're like, spouses are the ones that handle everything, essentially, like that's it. There's that's not even an understatement, it's like they handle everything. So how do we describe that? How do we put that, how do we make a title out of the fact that they do everything? And so we just and also the truth is y'all don't need our help. We just want to make it a little bit easier by letting you know what is available if you're looking for that. And that's really what the show is about, is hey, these are additional resources that you can add to your, add to your, whatever you call it, add to your, yeah, thank you. I was I'm losing my words on a Friday night. But yeah. And then eventually he was all like, we should call it holding down the fort. And we're like, oh, and then immediately, we reached out to our designer and, we were able to put together that podcast show very quickly. And so I think I appreciate your feedback because, as a military child and working with veterans, it's nice to create a title that we know can speak to our families today that are actively serving. And so your feedback on our title is greatly appreciated, and it affirms that we chose the right name.
Yes. Oh, for sure. And just with holding down the fort, I know you just won Media Professional of the Year through the Rosie Network Entrepreneur Awards. That's amazing. So how did that go? And I know you had a speech. What do you have to say about that award? It's so exciting.
Yeah, I appreciate you asking that. Wow, I feel like I have so much to say about it, but let me just tell a story. So,
sure.
So what is it? The show came about in summer of 2019, and it was really out of a desire to work through my feelings of just loneliness. So my husband and I moved from San Diego, California to Virginia Beach. And I mean, first Richmond and then Virginia Beach. But I had lived such a transient life that it was really hard for me to feel like I could establish local friends. And then, of course, moving to the East Coast for the first time without having any friends. I didn't have my business anymore, my loved ones. My sister lives in New York City, which is 6-8 hours away, I think, from where I live right now. And And so I really had to start over, and at the time I was 30, and I thought at 30, I should have figured my life out by then. I should have kept my established business, my network and reputation and everything. And so, but really I was starting from scratch. And part of starting from scratch, I actually did have the fortune of working with my husband. I started off by working internally, but I knew eventually that I needed to find my voice in our business as well, because all of my colleagues had their own story to share with their military experience so that we could relate to our clientele. For me to do that, though, I had to go beyond my relationship with my husband, who I met after his service, and actually come to peace with my Gold Star family story. And that wasn't something I was entirely comfortable with. I was like, oh, like I've been far removed from the story for like 20 years, and I've managed to survive without it. And now, in order for me to feel like I can wholeheartedly relate to the clientele that we want to reach out to, I have to bring that story up, and I need to bring it up in a way that like honors me, honors my family, and also works well to our advantage in terms of relating to the people, to our clientele today. So I was able to fortunately accomplish all of that in a year and a half. And so for me, the award is more than just it's more than just an award. It's the fact that I was able to start over. I was able to start over. I was able to reestablish myself, and I was able to build a community very quickly, just like you did, Christina, with your website, having started it this year, which is so crazy. But, just that ability to adapt so quickly, I think is something that our military families today can completely relate to. And so this is really me just saying, like you can start over, you can reestablish yourself, and you can get a lot of help doing that. So that's like, there's so much more to say, but I think that pretty much sums up like what this award means to me.
Yeah, that's just amazing because it's so brave to share your story. I know we talked about it when we were talking on your podcast, how for me, that's a hard part for me to share about myself. I know like sometimes I'll write and it's more through my eyes, but not about myself. And so you sharing your story and such a moving and inspiring story is just outstanding. I don't even have words for it, because when I listened to that podcast episode about your father, oh my gosh, it was so emotional because it's just, you were so just honest. And that family picture, because we just had that amazing blog post that was featured in your newsletter. So I just want to thank you for all that you do and all that you've shared. So with that, are there any projects that are coming up, whether it be within the season or anything coming up, whether it be with your podcast or with your business?
Yeah. So our company, US VetWealth, I mean, we have something really exciting right now. My husband Scott has been working really hard at getting his book done. It pretty much embodies everything we believe in for our company and how we want to serve our clientele. And so the book is called Veteran Wealth Secrets. And again, I think it actually right now at the time of this, I shouldn't say at the time of this recording, because this is live. I keep thinking like I'm on a podcast and it's gonna like get published. Too, yeah, so. I feel like it's gonna get published like a month later or something. So I shouldn't say that. But this is just the podcaster mind thinking out loud. But yeah. So for Veterans Day, we decided to release his book, Veteran Wealth Secrets, for free on Amazon, or on Kindle on Amazon. I believe it's still free now on there. If time does run out, because we did have like a 48-hour window, you could still get the free PDF version on our website, which is our website for the book, which is veteranwealthsecrets.com. Like I said, this book is a long time coming. This is not Scott's first book, actually. We've done a couple already, but this one I think really embodies what we believe in and what we stand for. And I want to just start by saying that, what we stand for, it's not for everyone. There are certain types of people that we speak to, or a specific type of person. This is someone, this is like a career family member or career service member who is about to transition out. And they aren't just looking to jump into another job. They're not just looking to like jump into something secure, or because maybe they started planning for transition too late. You know, they're like, oh my gosh, I'm transitioning, you know, or something dramatic happened where they do have to retire early. You know, this is and they didn't plan ahead. Like this is for the service member who wants to explore something different for themselves. They want to redefine who they want to be, like quote unquote, when they grow up.
Yeah.
In their post-military life. And what we do as a company at US VetWealth is help you align like who you want to be when you grow up, or align your finances with who you want to be when you grow up. So for us, it's really important. Like we've produced so much content and articles and blogs and especially this book about it, because the way that we talk about financial planning is very different from our civilian counterparts who typically talk about financial planning for retirement. And as you know, Christina, a lot of our military family members, when they retire, they're still pretty young. Like even if they serve 20 years, they're still late 30s, young 40s, maybe mid 40s, if they happen to stay in a little longer, but they're still pretty young. They still have so much life ahead of them. And the traditional financial service, the traditional financial industry really tailors toward those who have maybe pursued a corporate job. And a corporate job is not the same as serving in the military. And so, you know, we have a whole story, like, you know, my husband has been focused on this for the last decade when he transitioned out. And so he knows very intimately what it's like to maybe transition out too soon and not have a plan for who he actually wants to be, and maybe even struggling with the financial planning aspect of it. So, you know, it's a very bold thing that we're doing. We know that some people will look at us with skepticism, and we absolutely welcome it, because we expect our military community to be skeptical. We expect it. And so that's why we've created so much content to let you know, like, hey, the reason why we're doing this is because we are just like you. We know what it was like. We've been through that. And we just want to tell you, that you're going to be okay. Sorry. Did you hear that?
So funny. Yeah, I think it's hilarious.
I don't know. This is why I work in my office.
Out of all things for him to use.
He wasn't even down here before I started. But anyway, what I'm trying to say is that our book, if you're really looking to make a mind shift, if you're looking for, if you're kind of like, hey, I love my military benefits, I love my military life, I think I'm about to transition, or I want to see if there's any other options out there. I want to make sure that I feel very strongly and adamant and informed above all else. I feel informed about the decisions I've made so far, but I want more. I want to make sure. Then I highly recommend that you check out Veteran Wealth Secrets, because it'll at least get you to be aware of other options out there for you that may actually be better for you. Again, it's not for everyone, but we want to at least push that resource and that piece of education out there for our, veterans, military spouses, and families. And yeah, that's the biggest thing that we've been pushing for really this week so far. And, when we did the pre-launch, Christina, we already had we had over, I think, 200 people download the book. And then when we did the special, we had an additional 100 people download the book. And very quickly on Amazon, we became a bestseller. We became #1 in financial services topic and other things. And so, we're hustling really hard, because we know that we have a powerful message. We know that this is something that could really help people. And so far, we're just really happy to hear the feedback. and really, there's just a number of downloads so far for our book.
Yeah, because I know I downloaded my copy after an episode. Remind me what episode it was with you and your husband, and he was talking about just finance in general. And I loved how you both were on the same page. Like you guys were going back and forth, and you both were partners in this. Mm-hmm. And that's what really got me thinking, like, okay, let's look up US VetWealth and learn about all that is going on there. And I found the copy, I think it was on LinkedIn. That's where I downloaded it through social media there. And I told my husband, who's really into finance, I'm like, okay, we need to read this through. This is important. And I, who am not, financially savvy, was able to digest what you guys were saying. I still have a lot to learn, but it was something that I could look at and say, okay, I can handle this. I can use this as a resource.
Yeah.
So it was fantastic. And that's why I love your podcast and I love what's going on with your business and just so many exciting things. And I know we talked about doing a lot more collaboration, working together. With you and as well as your husband. I know I talked with him. I really would love to feature his book on the IML book chat, IML Must Read. So we definitely will be doing that. And then also, I know we talked about partnering and working together to promote a wonderful veteran program, because we were talking about veterans and transitioning for veterans in hospice. And that's through Veteran Last Patrol. That's a wonderful nonprofit that I'm working with, Veterans Helping Veterans. And it's with veterans who are towards the end of their life. And I think it's just a beautiful altogether message that we are here for veterans who maybe are still active, as well as ones that are transitioning out of the military, and now ones that have served our country and still need us. So I'm so excited. So you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, I mean, we're more than happy to support and help spread the word and see what we can do on our end, even personally to help, write some letters. So, I mean, we're following your lead, Christina. But I'm just so excited. I feel like our friendship kind of happened almost immediately. I think when you meet people who already have that go-giver heart, and you can tell, and you already see the work that they're doing, you just kind of already know intuitively and quickly that, like, this is someone that I want to chat with. This is someone I want to sort of dive into the deep end already and, see what good work we can do together. And that's kind of how I operate. And maybe that's just the military thing. It's like, hey, like, we don't have time to vet everyone. So you have to get smart at it. You have to get a lot smarter. You have to kind of like know what you want in your friendships and connections. And so very quickly, I just knew that our goals really aligned. And I think that when you find someone like that, it's important to band together because, all ships rise with the tide. And the more people know about your stuff and the more people know about our stuff, I think it just kind of creates this positive reality for our military families to know that they have just an abundance of information and resources, and above all else, community. To again, and this is going back to the whole feeling seen, heard, validated, and knowing that they can seek out that help. And there's so many different ways they can seek out help. And so I'm just happy to have met you, and I'm so grateful to be part of your Slack, your Slack group. And again, I'm just really excited about it, and I'm so glad that we had a chance to connect. And I look forward to seeing what else we can do together.
Yeah. Oh, of course. And then just for everybody else, where can people find you on social media and online?
Yeah, I would say I have like a lot of links. So I think the best place to find me right now is visit the website holdingdownthefortpodcast.com. It's a long title, but it's easy to spell, I imagine, holdingdownthefortpodcast.com. And if you actually scroll to the very bottom, you'll see my bio there and like all my social media. So you can find me on like Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn. You can even find my personal website where I give you the latest updates on what I've been up to and stuff like that. So it just all starts with that website, holdingdownthefortpodcast.com.
Oh, that's wonderful. Yeah, I have it up right now. It's very easy to navigate and has all the episodes there. So thank you so much. I hate to part, but this has been a really fun Friday night. Other than Netflix, right?
Yeah, I mean, we'll probably still watch Netflix, but hey, at least we got something like sort of productive in the way. And, to our listeners who are joining us live, my friend Wesley is saying hi, and also Jason. So hi, guys. I just noticed like a chat pop up. Yeah, thank you again so much for just doing this with me this evening. Obviously, you could have done other things, but to take this time to have that go-giver heart and provide the space for me to talk about what I'm doing, I just want to thank you. And, to everyone else, like, be on the lookout for Christina's conversation with us at Holding Down the Fort. Her episode will be coming out soon. So we'll definitely have all that marketing material for you to share there, Christina. So again, thank you. This is great. I've had so much fun tonight.
Oh, good. Awesome. Well, thank you everyone for tuning in, and we'll talk soon. Bye.